The police say a man who was fatally wounded by lawmen in St. Anne Wednesday night was facing multiple charges, including the December 2021 murder of a man identified as Evan Wallace, whose brother Franklin Wallace was killed a month later in January 2022. Sudane Donald, better known as Bikeman, was shot and killed during a police operation in Discovery Bay. Rashida Walker reports.
According to police sources, the deceased Sudane Downer is a prominent member of the 100 Rounds gang. Police went in search of him in Discovery Bay Wednesday night.
During the operation, there was a confrontation and Mr. Downer was injured. He was rushed to the St. Anne's Bay Hospital, where he has since been pronounced dead. One firearm has been recovered so far. The investigation in that is ongoing, and INDICOM and other relevant authorities have been informed.
The deceased, it's understood, is not from St. Anne.
Well, Mr. Downer is originally from the Hanover Division. He was charged for murder and other offenses and is reporting on condition of bail in the Discovery Bay space.
Meanwhile, the police conducted a major operation in Battletown.
The intent is to find wanted persons of interest and also persons who are involved in lottery scamming activities. What we have seen is that in this area, we have seen an increase in the number of persons who are getting themselves involved in lottery scam activities, as also involved in other criminal acts.
Rashida Walker for TVJ News.
The Jamaica Constabulary Force has extended its curfew hours currently in effect in Boscobel, Stewartstown, Freehill, Oxford, Geddestown, and sections of Robbins Bay and Nutfield communities in St. Mary. The extension took effect from 6 p.m. yesterday, February 12, and will remain in effect until 6 p.m. on Saturday, February 14. The JCF says the extension forms part of ongoing efforts to ease tensions, disrupt criminal activity, and reinforce public safety. Now, residents are required to remain indoors during the curfew hours unless otherwise authorized by the police. The Kingston and St. Andrew Municipal Corporation, KSAMC, says road work in key areas of the municipality will begin soon. The details were provided at the latest meeting of the corporation. Details in this report.
$220 million from the Parochial Revenue Fund, channeled through the Divisional Allocation Fund, will be used to carry out road rehabilitation across the Kingston and St. Andrew municipality over the coming weeks. Speaking at the recent sitting of the Kingston and St. Andrew Municipal Corporation's monthly meeting, Chairman and Mayor Andrew Swaby shared details.
All 40 divisions will see essential road work carried out in their communities, whether through patching, resurfacing, or repairs to critical sections. This is a direct response to residents' repeated concerns about potholes, damaged surfaces, and poor road condition.
He, however, admitted that the allocation will not be able to fix all the parochial roads in the municipality. That aside, as the corporation pushes to increase its revenue collection, Mr. Swaby gave an update on its signage regularization campaign, which started last month.
Since the launch of this campaign in January, the corporation has sustained extensive sensitization and outreach efforts across Kingston and St. Andrew. To date, 98 businesses have been formally invoiced and consultations have been held with key representatives of the business community.
In the meantime, as the municipal corporation prepares for the upcoming Carnival season, the corporation has met with promoters.
The KSAMC will also facilitate meetings with organizers of watch parties and Carnival events to ensure that all applications are submitted on time. We have engaged the National Solid Waste Management Authority as a key member of the committee to ensure the city is restored promptly following the road march on April 12th.
Teenage mothers at the Victoria Jubilee Hospital are facing serious nutritional challenges, prompting urgent action from hospital officials. In response, one charity group has stepped in to provide vital support while the hospital develops long-term solutions. Aaliyah Bryant has details.
Teen mothers at the Victoria Jubilee Hospital's specialized adolescent health clinic are being faced with serious nutritional challenges, creating a growing crisis in maternal care. Dr. Palmer Cole, a consultant at the hospital, says many of them are skipping breakfast, often considered the most important meal of the day.
Some mornings they would come in and some of them would fall ill because of lack of having breakfast and things like that. Some of them can't afford to, not all. Some of them can't afford to, some of them just did not have. We started the breakfast program last year, mid-last year.
On Wednesday, the crisis support charity made a donation of $230,000 to the hospital's Teenage Antenatal Clinic's breakfast program. The funds will provide nutritious morning meals for expectant teenagers while the hospital explores longer-term solutions. Co-director Stephen Joseph says the team is passionate about supporting young mothers, offering not just monetary help, but also the encouragement and understanding they need to navigate difficult times.
Because most times when a teenage mother, something of that sort happened, they tend to not get support. And so we tell these teen moms that, listen, it is not a full stop, it's just a redirection. And so we're amplifying what we're saying.
In the meantime, Dr. Cole says young mothers also need support in several other areas beyond just nutrition and health.
They need help with just supplies for the baby when the baby comes, that sort of thing. The other thing that they need social support, mental health support, that sort of thing. So we try to provide some of those things in the clinic.
The crisis team is appealing to everyone to give what they can wherever it's needed to support these young mothers.
It doesn't matter, what type of support that you're giving. It could be spreading the word. It could be making a monthly donation. It could be, just saying, all right, I get X amount for my pay. What can I give towards crisis support? Because the truth is, we may never know when we ourselves will actually be in a crisis. So I'm saying help us to help Jamaica in, becoming better communities and place of living.
In 2025, the Victoria Jubilee Hospital treated over 1,000 teenage mothers. And of that number, 102 girls aged 10 to 16 gave birth. Hospital officials say contributions like these are critical to helping young mothers and their babies stay healthy. Aaliyah Bryant, TVJ News.
It's now time for the Business Minute.
Chairman of the Wisinka Group, William Mafood, the country's leading manufacturer of sweetened drinks, says the $10.1 billion special consumption tax slapped on sweetened drinks is a vigorous attack on a particular industry. He stressed that this will only deprive poor people of money to spend on other items such as food, because it is the masses that consume these products and they are not going to stop doing so because of the new taxes. The Wisinka Group chairman said he needs greater clarity on how this tax will be applied. He adds that he wanted to know whether the tax will be applied to other forms of sweetened beverages such as condensed milk, syrup, and other sweetened products. Mr. Mafood stressed that the application of taxes must be broad-based and not sector-specific. Further afield, hundreds of Cherkid baby bath seats from Baby are being recalled for safety-related concerns. The Consumer Product Safety Commission says the seats are in violation of the mandatory standard and can tip over, posing a potential drowning hazard. No related injuries have been reported thus far. The baby bath seats were sold nationally on Amazon.com last September. Customers are advised to return the seats for a full refund. And that's it for the Business Minute. I'm Prince Moore.
And now to news in the region. The Pan American Health Organization has issued an alert over a rise in chikungunya cases across parts of the Americas. New detections in Guyana, French Guiana, and Suriname mark renewed transmission after nearly a decade without reported cases. And now we head to a quick break, but when we come back, we'll have the Midday Sports Report.